This is the third part of the 7-part series that I am currently doing on how to communicate effectively. Today we're talking about the third part, which is medium. As a communicator, and it doesn't matter what level of communicator you are currently, you writer, novelist, blogger, vlogger, or even just a person who is part of a team in your office building presentations. The medium that you choose for your delivery is going to define to a huge extent the ROI on that communication. So if somebody asks me what is the ROI on communication, if let's say you're making a presentation in the office, the ROI is you being seen as an effective leader, you being seen as a person that can be relied upon, you being seen as a person who knows what you're talking about. That's the ROI. Positive PR. Okay? In the same way, the ROI for a person who is, let's say, a blogger is what? Better engagement, larger audience, an audience that you can monetize. Okay? That is the ROI. What is the ROI for a novelist? Obviously, better readers and also fans. You have fans, you have readers that enable you, therefore, to be able to, hold, let's say, meetups or, go to, positive PR places like literary festivals, etc., etc. These things enable you to develop better PR, but these things also require you to have already some level of PR, some level of success, some level of engagement. So the medium that you pick is going to define to a huge extent how seriously you're taken as a communicator. In this respect, there are a few things that I have crystallized, the facts into, and I'm going to share them with you. The size, reach, cost, distribution, censorship, and then these 3 other points, which is the trend, engagement, and perception. Let's go over these one by one. First of all, the size of the medium is, let's say, the number of users, number of readers. For a newspaper, it could be, its circulation, the number of readers. For a medium like Twitter, for a medium like, let's say, Instagram, it's the number of active users. That's the size of the medium. The size of the medium is going to define the potential reach that your message has. Now, there's another thing here. The size of the medium is also dependent to a huge extent on technology. For example, let's say technological awareness. For example, let's say you decided, instead of going the same route of creating a presentation for your office team, you decided, wow, why don't I go ahead and make a nice interactive video running a lot of data simulations and engaging them. Sure, you can do that. Definitely. But what you need to keep in mind is the area where you are presenting, is that conference room, is that friendly for that kind of delivery? All you could have a great video, a great concept. Maybe you're pitching the designs for a particular apartment. Maybe you're pitching the designs for a particular, machine. Your idea may be great, but if it is not conveyed in the best way, then it's really, it's not effective communication. So if you are to go in to a meeting armed with a great video, you better ensure that there are great speakers in the conference hall. You better ensure that there is a big enough screen. You better ensure that the resolution that is going to show up on that screen compared to the video that you've made, the colors are going to show up just right. These are just some things that you need to keep in mind. And as an individual, communicator, writing a novel, creating a vlog, creating a video, whatever it is, you have to pick up the medium that you're going to create for by keeping in mind the potential reach that your content may have. Okay? Now, the reach is the second point. The reach is not necessarily the size of the medium. For example, this entire controversy of Elon Musk buying Twitter and then renaming it X, and firing 95% of the employees, and the reason that X has given for it is that there was a lot of censorship that was going on, which used to curtail the reach for a lot of creators, for a lot of communicators on the platform. Okay? And reach is defined in today's days by algorithms. So this is something also that you have to keep in mind. If let's say you're talking about the print medium has a lot of reach. But the print medium's reach in the English language is probably not going to be the same as the print medium's reach in, let's say, Urdu language. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. The size is the vastness of the ocean. Okay, but as an explorer, as a sailor, where you can effectively go, the places that you can effectively explore are limited, and you have to keep this in mind. Okay, the cost of creating a video, the cost of writing a novel, the cost of running a newspaper, the cost of creating a presentation, there is a cost involved in everything that we do. Okay, you have to think of it in terms of the hours of your life that you're dedicating to whatever it is that you're creating, whatever it is that you're building. And so the cost is going to define to a huge extent the frequency with which you can create. I've not mentioned it here, but this is going to define to a huge extent the frequency with which you are able to create. For example, movies. Movies are also a form of communication. If movies cost a lot, you can just produce, let's say, one movie in 7, 8, 10 years. But you see that there are a lot of actors out there who are doing indie films, and they come out with great pieces every year. Obviously, the bigger budget you have, the more you're able to create. That is a completely different point. But this is something that you have to keep in mind as well. That there is a time cost, there is an energy cost also involved in creating whatever you're creating that enables the communication. The amount of time, the amount of, let's say, money you have to invest in technology, let's say, for podcasting, for broadcasting, starting your own radio channel, starting your own news channel. Okay, that is something to be kept in mind. Then is the distribution. The distribution is very important when you are communicating. Now, somebody is going to say probably in this video that, this is not about communication, this is about content creation. The basics work the same. When you are creating a presentation for a team of 10 people, 12 people, distribution is not really that important. But let's say when you are converting that same meeting into minutes of the meeting, how are you distributing it? You're distributing in the form of text. You're distributing in the form of papers that you're circulating around the office, or you're writing a memo. You can do that more effectively. You really can. You can just sum up the minutes of the meeting in the form of a video and share that video with everybody, or you could just put it, in an internal link and share that within the company, and people can take a look. Or let's say your company's wiki page. You could leverage that very well. So distribution is something important, because without distribution, no matter how great a communicator you are, your message is just not reaching the right people that it needs to reach. If you are communicating, let's say addressing, like great politicians, a rally of 100,000 people, even then, distribution is important. Distribution is important because the way that your message is reaching out to everybody is defined to a huge extent by the technology in place, is defined to a huge extent by the mobilization of those people first. In political rallies, the people are mobilized first, and then you address them, right? And when you're creating content on your own, or let's say when you're communicating on your own, you then have to focus on the mediums that are better at distribution. So mediums can have their own rules and their own efficacy with respect to distribution. This is also to a huge extent controlled by algorithms. YouTube is great for distribution. Quora is great for distribution. There are a lot of other channels as well. Now, obviously, when we're talking about cost and distribution, these things are related together. Because if the size of the medium is too high, right, then your reach is going to be limited, and therefore distribution costs are going to go up. This is something that you have to keep in mind. Now, censorship. Whenever you are communicating anything in this world, even if you are communicating in a room of 5 people, that's it, 5 people, what you are able to say, there are limitations on that. The larger the size of a medium, the greater will be the censorship. And it is something that you have to keep in mind. For example, YouTube is becoming stricter and stricter these days with respect to its censorship, with respect to its tolerance for, nudity even in the form of art. They are blurring out, they are, demonetizing videos even when, they're paintings on tarot cards. Why? That's because it as a medium is growing. If you look at television is a medium which has the widest reach. Even today, across the world, the regular TV channels that you have. And that is why the level of censorship therefore increases. This is something that you need to keep in mind when you're deciding upon the right medium. If your intention is to express, which we talked about in the first video, and you need to be wary of mediums where there is a lot of censorship. Okay, this is something that you have to plan in advance, you have to keep in mind. And also, this is something that you can adjust across mediums. But this is something that you have to take into account because this is directly going to affect your reach. Okay, now, trend, engagement, and perception are 3 important things which are going to define how people perceive you as a communicator. If you're making videos on TikTok versus if you're making videos on your own independently hosted website, there's a world of difference in how people are perceiving you. You have a TikTok channel compared to, let's say if I have my own, independently hosted platform, jkaushal.coach. And that is where you're coming across my video. It makes a world of difference. This is something that you need to keep in mind. The trend, engagement, and perception, they go pretty much hand in hand. For example, let's look at this, new social medium launched by, Facebook, Meta, in fact, Threads. Threads had great size for a brief moment in time, but it has at the moment almost nil engagement. It's like empty, it's dead. There was, recently on the Joe Rogan podcast, Elon Musk was talking about it, and he said that I don't think even Mark posts over there. Why? Because it just went out of trend. The more that a particular medium is in trend, due to various reasons, the better you will find that you have reach. The lower you will find that you have costs of distribution, and censorship obviously is also something that is going to be a little bit shaky. It's going to be sporadic. It's something that you need to keep in mind. Okay. Perception, obviously, we've already covered this. Perception is something that you need to keep in mind a lot. If you want to be, let's say, taken seriously as an academician with respect to the material that you're teaching, the material that you're talking about, the material that you're researching, you're better off publishing papers. You're better off writing books. You're better off publishing in journals. If you do make videos that you would like to post on YouTube, you are better off reading from text that is already crystallized and written down. Okay, obviously, as you grow in popularity, something that I talked about in the previous part of this series, you have to find that intersection for you. You have to find that intersection of people who enjoy your expression, who enjoy the part where you're educating, who also enjoy the part where you're sharing ideas, where you're informing. You have to find that out for yourself. Okay. And as you grow in popularity, you know, those lines kind of blur as you gain more and more mass appeal, because every person beyond a point, when they have established themselves as an effective communicator within their niche, want to expand. Because, as I said, the need for expression is the most basic human need. However, early on, this is going to play a huge role in the level of support, in the level of loyalty, in the level of credibility that is attached. That's a very important thing. Credibility. This is going to make a huge impact on the level of credibility that you have as a communicator. So this is all for the third part of this 7-part series. I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. Check out all the playlists over here, and you might want to customize the bell icon so that you can stay abreast of the kind of content on my channel that you enjoy following. Okay, and if you want a personal session with me, you can get one by following the link given in the description box. It's going to take you to my website, and I'm just going to take it forward from there. Okay, thank you so much. Adios.